Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to another Superstar TS video. Today we are going to be talking about what's hot at the moment. What should we play? What should we not play? What have I played that are absolute, possibly masterpieces, but I haven't finished yet? Let's go! First up, let's start with FC25. Grew up most of my life back in the day, played a lot of Pro Evolution Soccer back on the PS1, PS2 days. Very much felt that PES was the better game. During my days at school, college, spent loads of time going around friends' houses. We had amazing battles. I remember the days of memory card battles. It was a truly amazing time. Played a lot of Football Manager at the time as well. Football was a big part of my life, especially when I was younger. Um, with FIFA, grew into FIFA once kind of PES died off in the PS3 era, and then from there, played a lot of FIFA year after year, would buy it every year. Kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit. FIFA 21, 22 was sort of sucked in that ultimate team loop where the weekend would come, desperate to play lots of games. How are you going to squeeze in playing like 30 games over a weekend from Friday to Sunday? And you really start feeling the pressure of like, oh my God, I've got to play so much. And I've really kind of grown to realise that every year the game comes out, it's very much, small iteration, not much has changed. So whether you play, FIFA 23, FC25, there's all these gimmicks like hyperball motion. I'm probably saying it wrong, but fundamentally nothing's changed. So I'm really looking forward to when I guess the engine changes and they do something new. But I think for now, FC25, it's not going to be the one for me. What's also hot? Silent Hill 2. Now, my history with Silent Hill, decent history. Back in the PS1, played the original Silent Hill. Quite young at the time, about 11, 12 maybe. Quite an eerie game. I remember when I watched the movie, probably one of the eeriest films I've ever watched. Not for one, if you're easily disturbed. I remember the scene with the bed and the springs, and yeah, that was a bit messed up. So yeah, interesting story there. I think it is a game I would like to try, but not enough when it's at full price. I think wait for it to come on offer, and then I'll give that one a go. Destiny 2. Now, Destiny is probably the game that I've put the most amount of hours in ever. We all know how, for those that have played it, how addictive it can be, and you can just grind day in, day out, doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get those god rolls. We all remember back in the day, Destiny 1, the Galahorn, um, and how elitist the game was. And you'd go to do the Vault of Glass raid or Crota, and particularly when the strategy back on Destiny 1 was Crota, everyone in the Titan bubble firing rockets, etc. If you didn't have Galahorn, it was very difficult to get into a party. Um, so I've got a lot of time, I've got a lot of love. Some of my favourite co-op memories with some of my closest friends have been playing Destiny. Fallen off the wagon a little bit, so I often go in spaces where I play it a lot. It all gets too much. I almost get burnt out. I disappear for a couple of years. I come back. I do it again. I get addicted. I get burnt out. And the last time I did this was about 6 months ago. I know there's some new content, so I've not jumped into any of the new DLC for this year. Not looked into the new subclasses. I think it's prismatic. But I am interested to see how the game goes because I know I've seen some of the this week in Destiny or this week in Bungie updates on the blogs, and the plans for 2025 look interesting. So yeah, wouldn't say I would never return, but still ready to take a break at the moment. So what am I actually going to play? Wow, I've got a few, as I mentioned at the start of the video, a few PS1 masterpieces, PS1, PlayStation 4, 5 masterpieces that I haven't finished. So first of all, God of War Ragnarok, bought it at launch. For some young family, didn't quite have a think busy with young children, didn't quite get to finish it. So now I'm reckoning I'm a good 2/3 of the way through. that's going to be one of my main focuses to get finished. Loving the story, always loved the bond between Kratos and Atreus. I think it's fascinating. The strain on between, a stubborn father who's protective of his child but emotionally kind of dead versus a young boy who wants to feel loved, wants to feel close to someone, and his father doesn't quite give him that. But there is that respect there for um, the man Kratos is and the integrity that he has. So that's always interesting. So yeah, that's one that's definitely going to be some of my streams. So I hope you can come and join that, and definitely going to be a game that I'm hoping to finish in the next week or two. Another PlayStation classic that I need to finish is Ghost of Tsushima. Um, Played quite a lot. I think I'm about 20 hours through that, maybe 25 hours. So a good, again, 2/3 of the way game. Again, was playing that when the kids were a bit younger, so time was harder to come by. That will probably treat that as my single player once I've finished God of War Ragnarok, especially with the announcement of Ghost of Yotei. Really good reason to get back in and make sure I'm up together with the story before next year, 2025. Sucker Punch's release of Ghost of Yotei, which should be exciting to have a new Ghost game, which is made for the PS5. Co-op. So what are we going to play co-op? So a couple of my friends, my main pal that I like to game with, Returnal co-op is probably what I'm looking to do. A game I played originally when it came out, was it 2021? Maybe 2022. It was like 6 months after I think the launch of the PS5. One of my favourite experiences. I think it's one of those games when it starts off, it's a bit grueling. You haven't got any weapons, you haven't got the movement, you haven't got some of the items like the lightsaber type sword. You can't grapple hook. You don't have the faster jumps and things like that. But once you kind of start unlocking, even though of course you reset every time weapons, but once you get some of those permanent unlocks and you learn that the mechanics of timing the dodge jumps, I think the combat really really hits. So yeah, my friend's never played it, so really excited to show him that, and hopefully we go all the way through together. Played it for the first time the other night. He was definitely interested. Celine's story, whilst I wouldn't say it's a heavy story based content game, it is a story which is very interesting, even if possibly at the end it all feels a bit like, oh, was that it? But don't tell my friend that. Anyway, that's the update on what's going on in my gaming world, what I'm interested in. Yeah, like I say, there's big live service games like FIFA, FC, and Destiny. Maybe staying away from those for the moment, focusing a little bit on single player content and co-op content. But I would like that kind of massive online game. So my eyes are open. Could Diablo 4 be a game worth investing in? Never played a Diablo game, so tempted to try. Let me know, what should I play next? Do you agree with the games I'm playing? Am I missing out on some newer games? Obviously trying to save some costs and not just buy everything that comes out. Let me know. Like, comment, Superstar TS out.